Thank you for joining us, and well, from Marg Delahunty to debut novelist, Mary Walsh is here with her brand new book, Crying for the Moon. Congratulations to you, and thank you for joining us. It's great to meet you.
Really nice to meet you, too. Thanks, Jill. Thanks for having me.
Yes, welcome to Calgary. And,
thank you.
Let's dig into the book a little bit. Are you happy with this? It was 5 years in the making for you.
I'm really happy that I finished it. You know, I've wanted to write a book since I was 11. That's the first time myself and my cousin, Mary Dalton, everybody in my family is called Mary, by the way, so I always have to put their last name. Even my oldest, big, tough brother, Kevin Edward, took Mary in confirmation because he had such a devotion to the Blessed Virgin. But anyway, myself and my cousin, Mary Dalton, wrote May Woodbury and Her Adventures at School, but we didn't finish it. And so that seemed to me to set the tone for my you know, novelistic career, even though I desperately wanted to write a novel all my life, because I wanted to be part of that club, like the club of people who had saved my life. And so then, now I did it. So, yeah, I'm really happy.
Ta-da. Well, congratulations. Yeah. And I'm curious if you had a deliberate tone that you wanted to express in your first novel, because it isn't what people will expect from you.
I guess,
there's not a lot to laugh about in the book.
Well, I guess that in like life, there are funny bits and there are sad bits. You know what I mean? And in a way, I wanted it to be the reflection of someone's real life. And so sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not so funny. And I think that my comedy has been like that, too, to a certain degree, right? Except when I'm, making faces and desperately, trying to get a laugh, but you know, there just is that walking that thin line between comedy and darkness has always been something that I've been really interested in. Now, maybe this one steps over the line too far. It's very hard to find that perfect thin knife edge, you know, but.
And what was it like for you to live with these characters? Because it isn't like you're getting that immediate reaction. You're in your own world with these characters, and you're doing it alone. Yeah,
I know. And now, luckily, Monique Tobin, who worked with me for years, and Jamie Pitt, who also worked with me for years, because I don't use a computer and because I write by hand, I write out loud because I've always written dialogue. I'm pretty, so I wrote it out loud, and then I wrote it out loud again by reading it to them, and then I would often, like, catch a look on Monique's face, like wondering whether it was maybe an undigested piece of potato or whether that was a really bad line. So I did have help, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it was scary, and because when you're performing, you have some control over how the material is received, because if it's not going well, you can shift the tone a little, and, but, yeah, so that was a very frightening idea for me, that people would be out there with the book and, without me.
Right. Well, there it is, and it's out there now. Yeah. And in terms of creating this piece, they say write what you know. What are the similarities? Where were you drawing from in your personal life?
Well, first of all, Maureen went to Expo, which I never got to go to Expo. Maureen got knocked up. I never managed to do that either. And Maureen poisoned someone, which, one of these three things never happened.
Okay, but, so art's not imitating life.
But two of these things. But I tried to get, the similarities are this. Our Lady of Mercy choir was going to Expo. I tried to get in the choir, though I always had to sing pantomime in the back because I couldn't sing. And Sister Mary Catherine was looking for a strong alto voice, and I did that thing that Maureen did with, and she put me in the altos, but it took less than 36 hours for Sister Mary Catherine to realize that I was indeed the problem in the altos, and she gave me the old heave-ho. So I never got to. So, in a sense, I suppose, and I grew up in St. John's I was coming of age at that time. So in a sense, there are parallels, but it's a fictional. I'm not Maureen. What happened to Maureen didn't happen to me.
Yes.
So, but she's in my world, or I'm in her world in a way. Yeah.
Okay. Crying for the Moon is the name of the book. Here it is. It's by Mary Walsh. And just really quickly, I'm curious to turn a corner to your previous life in 22 minutes. Do you kind of crave a platform like that with what's going on in the world right now?
I know, 22 minutes is always, it seems, on hiatus when the worst things happen. You know, like I would love to do something, but sometimes I lose faith that satire can make any difference because, you know, these extraordinarily, Samantha Bee, for instance, one of our own, extraordinarily talented satirists, satirized Donald Trump, and it's really hard to satirize a clown, you know, with the long ties and the weird clown hair and the orange clown makeup. Like, it's hard to satirize that, but they did, but what, it didn't make one iota of difference. It's just like Rob Ford. He's just like Rob Ford. The crack videos are gonna come out. People are, you know, and it's still not gonna make any difference to the 40% of people who voted for him because it's like believing in transubstantiation. It's an act of faith. It has nothing to do with facts or logic or, you know, reason. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can pick Mary's brain as she is here at the John Dutton Theatre at the Calgary Public Library. It's WordFest presenting tonight at 7 p.m. and digging into more on the book and your life, and I imagine your thoughts on politics, too, will come up tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jill.
Continued success.